often do you find yourself saying phrases such as, I wasted so much time today, or even, I'm running out of time when you're working on an assignment? How often do we refer to time as if it's materialistic? Hi everyone, I'm Naomi Royal, and today I'm going to be talking about linguistics, English language, and the metaphors we use that shapes our reality today. Have fun. Now, there's actually a very simple linguistic idea that may help you understand this better. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Now, this hypothesis suggests that the language we speak influences the way we think, behave, act, and view the world. Now, it doesn't completely control your thoughts. Don't go there. It doesn't brainwash you. You are not trapped in your language, people. It is actually a lot more freeing. I'll make it simpler. There are two versions of this hypothesis, one of them being language determinism, the other being language relativism. Language determinism simply states that the language you speak dictates the way you think. It doesn't guide your thoughts, it completely takes control. It is the reason you think the way you do. Meanwhile, on the other hand, language relativism simply states that you are the person who are in control of this. The language you speak simply guides you, rather than completely dictates what you think. Now, there has been a lot of arguments and debates and rejection towards language determinism due to its constrained nature, and there has been a lot more acceptance towards language relativism due to its nature of letting us be who we are and letting just language helps us to be who we think we are. Now, it doesn't act as a cognitive imprisonment, and that is the ideal of this concept. Now, there are 7,000 living languages in the world currently. Papua New Guinea alone has 840 languages. I am not a polyglot. I'm not even a trilingual. I'm simply a bilingual. I'm sure that there are a lot of bilinguals in this room. There are a lot of polyglots. I know that Miss Gladys over here is a polyglot, and maybe Mr. Matthew? No. Okay. So the truth is, it takes a long time for us to learn these languages. It might take a lifetime. How many lifetimes would it take to learn 7,000 languages? Each language doesn't just carry grammar or vocabs. It is also very important to realize that every single language we speak has culture, heritage, and even history behind it. Now, as my close personal friend, Charlemagne, has once said, to have another language is to possess a second soul. We're besties, by the way, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, human soul, we don't know much about it. We don't know much about consciousness in general. But what do we know? We know that it holds a lot of emotions. Now, emotion and language, it actually goes hand in hand. We know that language is nature. It's not nature, actually. Sorry, my apologies. It is nurture. Now, since it is nurtured, wouldn't it make sense to say that the metaphors we use, the way we speak, actually shapes the way we actually think? Let me explain. In the English language, unless you're Sylvia Plath or Albert Camus, we often default to broad labels such as, I feel sad. However, in my mother's tongue, in the English language and Thai language, my mom is Thai, there is this beautiful phrase, Sia Zai. The literal translation to that phrase is, my heart is lost. Now, isn't that different? It doesn't just explain what we're saying. It is actually, we are describing an experience, not just what you're feeling. It doesn't label it. The need to minimize the feeling goes away. The need to dismiss it or act as if it's just nothing goes away. Now, labeling our emotions, as we've heard in a lot of the speeches today, and the people at home might find it extremely important to do so. Recognizing what we feel actually matters. So it is extremely important to know what you're saying and actually be more open to realize that the language we speak helps us understand this better. Now, this goes beyond emotion. This is also about time. So language and time. In English, time is money. We refer to it as these phrases such as, I spent so much time today. Spent, waste, save time. These words shape our reality. We feel pressured. If we're procrastinating, if we're not productive, we feel worthless. Now, isn't that bad. That is incredibly damaging towards our mental health. Our time that we say we save is actually us being extremely mean to ourselves. Now, productivity doesn't equate to value. So other culture may explain time as a river, giving us more of a relaxed sense when it comes to these things. Now, let me paint you a picture here. Language also is up to responsibility. It shapes how we think about responsibility and experiences. Okay, it is Thanksgiving Day. You are having fun with your brother in the kitchen. You guys are running around, and then suddenly you knock over a vase. Your mom stands up and says, "She broke another vase. What a clumsy girl." You may think that it doesn't matter that much. She's just stating what happens. However, in some other languages, the person might say, "The vase broke." And while it may be true that we could phrase it differently in English, it is just our default way of saying things that makes it quite wrong. So the next time you catch yourself saying things such as, "She broke the vase," or "Why did you write that? Why are you asking?" Maybe ask, why was the question asked? A lot more curious, a lot more open, and a lot more freeing towards yourself. Now, you might ask, "Naomi, so you're just standing up here criticizing the English language?" No, I am not. The whole point of this is for you to understand that the language you speak matters. To be more curious about how you say stuff, how you understand and receive the things that your peers, your teachers are saying. Because then a whole new perspective may be opened. You may understand more than you do now. You may know that, wow, she actually didn't mean it that way. We were taught to do that. Language is a habit. We are learned to speak this way. We were taught to speak this way. And we don't get credit enough to actually know what it means, what a lot of us are saying, right? Do you even realize how much time you spend just worrying over certain things, such as time, or how often we feel like our emotion doesn't really matter? When you realize that the language you speak is a lot more flexible than you think it is, it opens a whole new perspective. A new language is a new perspective, a new way of speaking, even in the English language or in the Thai language, in any language in general, is a new perspective. The way you communicate to yourself or to others matter. That is why we must keep trying. We must be more curious. We must be more doubtful towards the things that we already know currently. So please, guys, I urge every one of you to look beyond your IELTS score, to look beyond the books you read, to look beyond what you know how to write and learn. Be more curious. Curiosity is a love language. Know that what you're doing. Try to put effort into these things because they matter. They matter not just to you, to the community around you, the way we communicate with others, human connection. Everything that revolves around us revolves around language. Language is action, language is words, and they matter. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. That is why language matters and how it shapes our perspective on reality.